Have you ever felt like someone was watching your every move? That's exactly what happened to us. Picture this. I'm cutting grass in my front yard on a hot summer day when my neighbor Karen steps out and says something that made my blood run cold. You people always get everything so easy. Those words hit me like a slap. I just kept mowing, tried to ignore her. But Karen? She's like that one neighbor everyone has. The one who makes your life miserable for no good reason. Let me tell you about Karen. She's the type of person who smiles at your face, but talks bad about you behind your back. When my wife and I moved to this quiet neighborhood, we thought we'd found our dream home, but Karen had other plans. She would say hi to me, but completely ignore my wife when we walked together. Her fake smile fooled nobody. From day one, she was looking for ways to cause trouble. And trust me, she found plenty. It started small, a comment about our welcome mat being the wrong color, a complaint that our music was too loud during our backyard cookout, an angry look when she saw a tiny weed near our mailbox. One by one, these things don't seem like much, but put them all together, it becomes a big problem. The worst part wasn't just her being mean. There was something else, something ugly hiding underneath. The racist comments weren't obvious at first, but they were there. Kara would say things like, "The neighborhood is changing," while staring straight at our house. My wife noticed it before I did. She told me, "This woman isn't just unhappy. She hates us, and that hate is what keeps her going every day." I wanted to believe Karen was just lonely or sad, but my wife started writing down everything Karen did. Every mean comment, every time she drove by our house slowly, every weird thing she did. At the time, I thought my wife was being too careful. Turns out, she was getting ready for war. All we wanted was a peaceful life, a place where we could plant flowers, cook good food, and sit on our porch drinking sweet tea while watching the sunset. We picked this neighborhood because it was quiet and safe. Most of our neighbors were really nice. One brought us homemade jam. Another neighbor's kids would say sorry if their soccer ball landed in our yard. But Karen made every single day feel like a test. Every trip to the store, every laugh, every nice thing we did, she was keeping track of it all like we were doing something wrong. One Sunday, we came home from buying groceries for the week. We also got some extra food for our old neighbors who needed help. As we pulled into our driveway, I saw Karen's face in her window, watching us like always. I joked to my wife, "She's spying on us again," but my wife wasn't laughing. She said, "Let her watch," in a voice that sounded ice cold. The sun was shining and everything seemed normal, but I felt scared. Something bad was about to happen. We didn't even finish taking our groceries out of the car when Karen came marching across the street. Her face was red with anger. "That's a lot of food," she said, pointing at our bags. "It looks like you're taking more than you need." My wife didn't even turn around at first. She just put down 2 bags and then looked Karen right in the eyes. "It's called grocery shopping, Karen. Maybe you should try it sometime." No anger, just cold truth. That's when Karen's mask came off completely. "People like you don't need that much food," Karen screamed. "You just take and take. You're probably getting free food from the government anyway. I'm calling the police." And that's exactly what she did. She pulled out her phone and dialed 911 right there in front of everyone. The words she used could have gotten someone killed. "There's a suspicious woman here," she lied. "She's being aggressive and threatening me and my child." The same old lie that has hurt so many innocent people. I froze. My wife stood strong with a grocery bag still in her hands. Her face was calm, but I could see her jaw was tight. This is every black person's worst nightmare. Your normal life, your own home, your groceries, suddenly turn into a crime scene by a neighbor who thinks your skin color makes you dangerous. Within minutes, police sirens were screaming down our street. 2 police cars with flashing lights, doors flying open. And guess who they looked at first? Not Karen, my wife. "Ma'am, step away from the car," one officer ordered. My wife kept her hands where they could see them and spoke in a steady voice. "Officer, my name is Dash. We don't need your name yet. Just show us your ID. Now." They already thought she was guilty before hearing her side. Meanwhile, Karen was acting like the victim, pointing at our car trunk and telling the police we were stealing food from poor families. It was crazy, but my wife stayed calm. She doesn't panic easily. "Officer, I suggest you don't search my car without a warrant," my wife said. This surprised them and made them slow down. The police sergeant had dealt with Karen's fake calls before and wasn't sure what to believe. Then my wife, cool as ice, asked, "Are you sure you want to make this bigger than it is?" She moved slowly and carefully, asked permission, then pulled something from her back pocket. It wasn't just a driver's license. It was a federal badge. Homeland Security Investigations. Gold and blue and official. Everything stopped. You could hear the wind in the trees. The police sergeant's face went from angry to shocked in 1 second. Karen's mean smile disappeared. "What is that?" she whispered. My wife's voice was strong as steel. "I'm a senior special agent. This is MY property. You're bothering me because of a false, racist report." The whole situation flipped upside down. The police started saying sorry. Karen tried to act innocent. How was I supposed to know? She didn't look like a government agent. I was just trying to protect my family. The excuses came fast, but then my wife's boss showed up in a black government car. And that's when the real evidence came out. My wife had saved everything. Every hate note that said, "Go back where you came from." Every time Karen slashed our tires. Every creepy moment when she followed us around. She presented it all like the professional agent she was. Cool and clear. No drama needed. The supervisor listened with a tight jaw, then told police, "I want her phone right now." Karen screamed about her rights, but she was now part of a federal case. When they checked her phone, they found the digital proof. Group chats where she bragged about getting rid of the loud black couple. Photos of us taken without permission. Text messages planning the 911 call step by step. No more lies. No more excuses. The police sergeant put handcuffs on her right there. The metal clicking sound echoed across the whole neighborhood. "You're under arrest for filing a false police report, stalking, and violating federal hate crime laws." Karen tried to fight, but it was over. My wife, who had been quiet since showing her badge, walked up close enough for Karen to hear every word clearly. "You thought I was dangerous because I'm black. Your ignorance is an excuse. It's the reason you did this." Karen just cried as they put her in the police car. That's how a normal Sunday grocery trip turned into a national news story. The media called it the Homeland Security Karen case. It was everywhere. The trial was like a circus. News trucks everywhere. Angry people, neighbors who used to ignore Karen's behavior, were now apologizing to us. Karen's lawyers tried everything. She was just anxious. She was just protecting her child. She just made an honest mistake. But the text messages, the photos, the slashed tires, the stalker group chat, it was all there, undeniable proof. My wife was like a rock on the witness stand, calm but quietly angry. The verdict? Guilty on every single count. 8 years in prison plus mandatory classes about racism. The judge said, "You tried to use our laws as weapons against your neighbors because of their race. This wasn't a mistake. It was a planned attack." After the sentencing, something beautiful happened. Neighbors who had been scared of Karen started bringing us food and apologies. Our driveway, once treated like a crime scene, became the center of a weekly community food drive. The same car trunk Karen called the police about was now open every Sunday, collecting donations for families in need. Even the 2 police officers came by later, not in uniform this time, to apologize and admit the whole police department was changing how they handle these situations. My wife's agency didn't punish her for what happened. They promoted her and made her story a teaching tool for other agents. For a while, it felt like we had actually won. Our home was peaceful. Our lawn looked perfect. Karen's old house sat empty, like a reminder that hate had been defeated. But peace doesn't last forever. One day, a flyer from a Patriot Heritage Group appeared on my car. Then we found a dead bird on our porch. Karen's house was sold to a man named Bill who was too friendly and asked weird questions about my wife's work. He seemed very interested when she mentioned investigating domestic extremists. And Karen's son Eric started parking down the street late at night, just sitting and watching us. My wife's work computer started acting strange. Files disappeared. The webcam turned on by itself. She found spy software on her computer, the expensive kind that only government agencies use. Someone at the highest level in her own agency had planted it to track her every move. That's when we realized the truth. Her supervisor, the man who seemed to rescue us that day, wasn't a hero. He was protecting himself and a whole network of corrupt people. Karen wasn't just a racist neighbor. She was part of something much darker, with connections reaching all the way to the top. When Karen failed to get my wife arrested, the supervisor changed plans. He gave her a promotion to watch her closer, bug her technology, and trapped her. The piece was just a trick, a new way to fight the same war. So my wife did what any good agent would do. She pretended to be sick, bought secret phones, and from a cheap motel called the FBI's Internal Affairs Department. She didn't call her own bosses. She called the people who investigate corruption at the highest levels. She explained the whole ugly puzzle. The supervisor, the network, the suspicious new neighbor, the digital evidence. The voice said, "Go home. Act normal. We'll contact you soon." Now we wait, knowing every window might hide a camera. Every friend could be an enemy. Every normal day is just calm before the next storm. The fight started with groceries on a sunny Sunday, but became a battle for our lives and for justice in a country where fairness sometimes feels impossible to reach. But tell me, who do you think was right? Who was wrong? Where's the line between safety and paranoia? Between community and control? Share your thoughts below. I want to know if you think justice really won or if the real war is just beginning.